That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a Notre Dame versus USC preview with everything on the line. The stakes could not possibly be higher edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to see my face. Nobody blame you for that. Call-in lines. Oh, they're popping these days, baby. 312-988-15. Dialed up. Tell Uncle Johnny all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by Sports Illustrated. Read about it every single day. I got articles for you. 365. We keep it alive, baby. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. It's the main man, Mike Goolsby, breaking all the film down behind the scenes. Jared Clark doing the offense. Jared Clark's over here breaking down the Notre Dame offense till 2 a.m. And then he's going and coaching his Florida high school team that's chasing another championship. It's unbelievable, that guy's offensive mind. Love to have him on my team. It's a beautiful thing. All right. First things first, happy Thanksgiving. So let's just do that, get that out of the way. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's safe travels. Tell your mom you love her cooking, whatever it is. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all you guys and that I'm here doing this. I love this community and everything about it. So that's the first thing there. This is it, folks. It's the end of the road, baby. If Notre Dame could beat USC for its 10th win in a row, we will be talking about history in the form of Notre Dame hosting a playoff game. If Notre Dame should get beat by USC, this season's going to be deemed a failure. I do not see any margin in between. I think that's what it's come down to when you look at where the program's at in year 3 of Marcus, looking at this year and what's happened on the plus end and the low end and the schedule and considering everything. That's where I fall on this. I think this is either a success or a failure. I do not think you are going to be able to sell 10-2 against this schedule that ended up not being that tough and the losses being against Northern Illinois and a 5-loss USC. You're not going to be able to sell that as success this year. So while it will be an improvement of the losses over the 3 years of Marcus Freeman or whatever, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Ain't nobody here for that. That's not going to be the mark for success. You got to win this football game. And so people have been asking me, John, is this not, like the biggest game we've had in a very, very long time? Probably since Ohio State last year. Let's put it that way. As far as moving the needle and what all the implications practically and perceptually, it's your next opportunity since Ohio State. It's even bigger than the A&M opportunity because there's different things in play here that are bigger than just that one game moment in time. That being said, a lot of people have been reaching out to me on the morning show, the call-in shows, and asking, when do you pull back out the big game chain and the chalice of malice, John? It's time. It's time. The chalice of malice is back. That only comes out for the biggest of big game moments. We had it out for A&M, and it was a good victory, and we drank out of the chalice of malice, the A&M tears. This team has not earned it ever since then because of what happened week 2. So the chalice of malice has been collecting dust. So is the big game chain, you guys. So is the big game chain. I don't feel like no earn these things since week 2. You have to earn that back. I don't just give stuff away for free here. You got to earn it. This team's earned it. They've won 9 in a row, and they're on the verge of doing the miraculous and pulling off this full redemption tour. So it is time for the chalice of malice and the big game chain to return. Thanks to Mark with glasses for the chains, of course. Those things are back, but this team had to earn it, and it took from week 2 all the way to the last game of the year for me to be comfortable saying they've earned this, and it is on the table again. Notre Dame's playing great football, trending up at the perfect time. When do you ever say that in the last 30 years of Notre Dame history? Marcus Freeman, this young head coach, learning on the fly, seems to have hit a groove with his team. They're playing their best ball at just the best time. Freeman seems to have hit his stride. This team seems to have hit their stride. It just feels very different, man. There is a vibe of calm confidence about this team and its coach right now. That's a thing, just a thing to behold. I've been thinking about this too. You know I love my Notre Dame history. I got my Frank Leahy book here. Rockney would love this, man. Rockney would absolutely love the way this season's ended with the Rockney road trip, the Yankee Stadium matchup with Army and the big bright lights, and then going to LA with everything we have on the line. This is a marketer's dream. Knute Rockne was the first true American influencer. He didn't need Instagram or any of that stuff. He knew getting Notre Dame's brand coast to coast would be something you could eat off of forever. And here we are 100 years and everybody's richer and Notre Dame's brand is bigger because of it. New York to LA and everywhere in between. That's where Notre Dame likes to be heard and seen. All right. Here's the deal. Only a win over 5-loss USC stands between Notre Dame and all their goals. And let's be honest about it, man. Things have not gone that smoothly on or off the field for Lincoln Riley. It is his start at USC. You know, Marcus Freeman has had his struggles too, very publicly, on the field, off the field, some recruiting, some stuff beyond Marcus's direct impact behind the scenes that he has to deal with. Very public missteps. Marcus 10, man, you name it, man. It's been rough. Every one of those learning curves is a public beating. Like, it's just in the limelight. There's no way around it. That's life as Notre Dame's head man. So that's been rough for Marcus in his first few years. Things have not gone smoothly on and off the field, really, for Riley either. I mean, you had a good run with Caleb and all that. You know, you didn't win playoff games or anything, but he got the Heisman and carried them or whatever. But they're not dominating West Coast recruiting the way they thought they would, right? And the way the media thought they would, and Riley was planning on. You're not dominating all the West Coast talent. A lot of guys are more than willing to go to Oregon, move over the country a little bit, go to Texas. Like, they're not loyal to the West Coast or USC in any way. And I think they thought they would just dominate all the top-end talent out there. It ain't happening. It ain't happening, and I love to see it. So you have that part off the field, that the recruiting's not going the way they wanted. And then on the field, you just got lots of losses. Lots of losses. Now, here's the tricky part. We got to be fair and balanced here. Here's the tricky part, you guys. They got 5 losses. They were leading in all 5 of those games in the fourth quarter, and all of them, the losses were by a single possession. How should you think about this? Do you think about their 5 losses any differently when I give you those stats? That they were winning every one of those games in the fourth quarter, and it's been a 1-possession game. There's no blowouts or, you know, where they couldn't compete or hang. Like, that's kind of on the good side. The bad side, it's like you're losing to Minnesota and Maryland on the road. You know, you've evidently ran out of gas and can't close out these games at the end. But what do you make of that, knowing that all their losses were that tight? I'm not quite sure what my answer is. You know, there's pluses and negatives to that. It depends on where you want to focus. Ultimately, 5 losses isn't what USC's looking for. Welcome to the Big Ten, by the way. They're learning a week-to-week Big Ten schedule is a lot tougher than a week-to-week Pac-12 schedule. And the travel's different and the weather's different. And welcome to the Big Ten, man. They got caught up by Minnesota on the road and Maryland on the road. Not good. Not good. But I want to know if this makes you look at things any differently, knowing how close those 5 games are that they lost. Honestly, their defense has gotten a lot better. They're averaging just over 21 points a game. To be honest, that's a lot lower than what I expected it to be. Can't get enough unfiltered Notre Dame football talk? Be sure to go over to patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain Mike Goolsby and myself. Do that. Screw it.
Oh, he never won anything. It's been 30 years.
That's a pretty good number for them. For reference, we're second at 11 and change per game, only behind Ohio State. Army used to be number 2. Their numbers have taken a hit. Something may have happened. Their numbers have gotten worse in terms of points they allow. They're no longer second. As far as offensive scoring, they average 29 a game. So I know Lincoln Riley and USC, they want to be up near 40. They ain't looking at no 29 a game. So for them, that's a horrible number. What is it, 80th something in terms of the 134 overall teams? So it's just interesting to kind of look at their season and what's kind of happened in this first Big Ten year. And those fourth quarter stats and how close those games are is very interesting to me. There's positives and negatives to draw from that. Here's what I think. This new quarterback, Mava, or whatever, however you pronounce it, not trying to be disrespectful, however you pronounce it, he's going to make some plays. He's an athletic kid, man. He's frisky, but I think he's going to throw us the ball too. And I think Uncle Al's got a couple surprises for this young man out in Hollywood. That's what I think's going to happen. Woody Marks, he's the real deal. We know they have some dangerous weapons and athletes. They always do. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. But here's the thing, man. I don't think their top-end guys are like what their top-end guys used to be, like in the prime of the Carroll era, where their top skill guys were the best in the whole country, like Reggie Bush. Okay? Like, I just don't believe their top-end guys are what they used to be nationally. That's number one. Number two, I don't think they're deep enough on both the lines that they should be in a position to beat Notre Dame. They may have some skill guys here or there that have talent. I'm not going to deny that. Whatever, fine. I don't think USC is deep enough or strong enough on both lines that they should be beating Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to have to beat themselves. I think Notre Dame's going to have to beat themselves for this to go the wrong way. And again, I'm not being disrespectful to USC. I'm just looking at the matchups here. Up front, man, I just do not believe USC is strong enough and deep enough on both lines over the course of a 4-quarter game that they should be beating Notre Dame. I don't. I think Notre Dame's got to do a lot of things that helps them get to the finish line if this goes the wrong way. And Notre Dame's been not doing that. They have been just crushing teams' will to exist lately. So it'd be very uncharacteristic of Notre Dame since week 2 to mess around in that way. I think Notre Dame's defense is going to suffocate these guys. It may take a little while. I think Notre Dame's defense can end up suffocating these guys. I cannot see a scenario where Notre Dame's defense lets us down in this moment. I just don't see it. They are playing way too good, and they are far too locked in at this point in the season to have that kind of drop-off. I just don't see it. Those guys are hitting on all cylinders, and they got to all rock and roll, and they are feeling themselves playing confident football. I do not see any reason that would not carry over into LA. I think Notre Dame's going to end up winning this ball game up front over the course of the game on both sides of the ball. Old school, man. Old school. I think the Notre Dame offense is going to find some places to run on these guys and even throw it around a little bit. I believe I'm going to see that. But make no mistake about it, Notre Dame's defense is going to set the tone. That is the strength and the heartbeat of this program, and they're going to set the tone in Hollywood. Book it. Book it. Those guys know what's on the line. They're going to be prepared, and they've been waiting for this moment. These guys, man, they hit you with a purpose. They hit you with a purpose. You want to talk about 88 and loving old school Notre Dame football, the way this defense plays with their physicality level? It's reminiscent of some of the old days where Notre Dame didn't just hit to tack you. They hit to hurt you. They hit to hurt you. This defense is the real deal, and they're playing with full confidence. Here's something else I really hope we see. We need to see Marcus Freeman start and end the year doing his pump-up routine in the tunnel, leading his team out to battle in a big road game that you absolutely feel like you got to win. Everybody remembers that scene of Marcus Freeman before A&M getting the guys pumped up and Freeman getting the emotion going and get pumping up the crowd saying, give it to me, all this stuff. I need that again. It's the perfect Irish bow to tie on the year that he does it on the front end in game one in a game you had to have and doing it on the back end. Same thing, a game you absolutely have to have. Notre Dame fans will go absolutely insane if Marcus does that around. Everybody on the Notre Dame side is going to make the connection of that week one and him doing that and how much it meant to everybody to see that raw emotion. And then doing it to wrap up. Oh, my gosh. You're going to have people jumping all over their living rooms, man. This is Notre Dame's next chance to move the needle. This is Notre Dame's next chance to move the needle. Force respect. The A&M game was a big game, but I got to go back to the Ohio State game as far as this big picture needle moving stuff. Texas A&M, they were not a top 5 team the way Ohio State was. It's a different situation. Important game for its own reasons, being game one and all that. But it wasn't looked at the same nationally as what it would mean if Notre Dame won as it would have been against Ohio State. This is your next chance to move that needle. And it isn't because it's going to be impressive if you beat USC. It's going to be impressive that you're locking in a home hosting playoff seed. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying this is your chance to move the needle because it's so great to beat USC and that they're awesome. No, it's about you getting that home seed and hosting a playoff game and what that opportunity means and what that opportunity gives to you. Next chance to move the needle. You need redemption. You fell short against Ohio State because you made about a dozen plays on the field or coaching decisions that if one of them goes different, you win the game. You were 0 for about 12 plays and coaching decisions, any one of which went different, you could have won the game, would have won the game. 10-man, how you operated your last defensive series, how you operated your last offensive series. Hartman putting his head down, getting a first down in the first half, making a field goal, not missing it in the first half, dropping an interception. Like, I just named a half dozen things off top of my head. Any one of those things goes differently, Notre Dame wins the game. Notre Dame doesn't even have to get a first down with their last offensive possession, but run the ball enough to make them burn their timeouts and take time off the clock. You didn't even have to run good plays, and you probably would have won the game. You didn't even do that. It's time for redemption. It is time for redemption. I want this for Freeman, and I want this for these players, but they've got to step up and take it from USC. Notre Dame's going to win this game because that's what they do now. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. Notre Dame wins because that's just what they do now. They've come too far to have a letdown now. This defense will not allow it. This defense absolutely will not stand for it. It ain't going to happen. This group of players and this young coach and this staff feel different. Let's see if they prove to be. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.